India is slowly moving toward one of its most important long-term goals, something we need to talk about: strategic autonomy, or what the India's Prime Minister calls self-reliance. Last year, India unveiled its first deep-water transshipment international seaport in the southern state of Kerala, located hardly 10 nautical miles from one of the world's busiest international shipping lanes, connecting Europe, the Persian Gulf, and the Far East. And within a year of its launch, its strategic importance is already being recognized globally. An Indian member of parliament recently pointed out that as tensions around the Strait of Hormuz deepen, global shipping is beginning to look towards my constituency. Even though the port is still in its early phase and not yet operating at full capacity, hundreds of ships have already requested in berthing and transshipment operations. With several commercial ports in the Middle East facing instability and risk during regional conflicts, global shipping companies are increasingly looking for a reliable and strategically located alternative gateway. And India's Vizhinjam Port has answered the call. So, in this video, we will not only understand the importance of Vizhinjam Port, but also how India is using connectivity and infrastructure to move closer to its goal of self-reliance. India, under its Sagar Doctrine, security and growth for all in the region, has presented itself as a net security provider and a trusted partner in the Indian Ocean region. And it makes sense. Geographically, India sits right at the center of the Indian Ocean. But for years, even India has been dependent on foreign transshipment hubs like Colombo, Singapore, and Dubai, with a large share of Indian cargo being handled outside the country. Just think about this: goods purchased by India, delivered and consumed by India, but have to come via Colombo, costing additional millions of dollars. And it's not just about the economic losses. Think about all the geopolitical leverage India has been missing all through. And it's also not that India didn't realize this. The Vizhinjam Port project was first conceptualized in the 1990s, but legal, environmental, financial, and administrative hurdles kept delaying its execution. But in recent years, India has been pushing connectivity projects like anything, and I'll explain you this by an example. If you remember the India-China border standoff in 2020, which lasted for several months, it exposed a key gap. While India had been working on border infrastructure, China had significantly outpaced India in connectivity and rapid troop mobilization. India understood this, and since then, India has accelerated its infrastructure push. From the world's highest railway bridge, Chenab Bridge, to the Zojila Tunnel for all-weather connectivity, from the dedicated freight corridors, which can also be used as military corridor in time of crisis, to trilateral highway connecting India, Myanmar, Thailand. From deploying monorail at 16,000 feet in Arunachal Pradesh to holistic border development program. Border infrastructure development has increased significantly, including deployments in sensitive regions like the Siliguri corridor. So you can notice, these are not just infrastructure projects, they are strategic leverage. Because in any future conflict scenario, leverage determines how strong you stand at the negotiating table. Now, for years, China has been expanding its presence in the Indian Ocean region through what is often called the String of Pearls strategy, a network of ports and infrastructure projects across countries like Djibouti, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and the Maldives. Now, through its debt trap diplomacy, China has military assets in almost all of them, though not accepted publicly. In response, India has pursued what is often described as a necklace of diamonds strategy, building its own network of partnerships and strategic access points across the region. But without accelerating its own maritime infrastructure push, India cannot position itself for greater strategic leverage in the Indian Ocean region. Now, with Vizhinjam Port expected to scale up operations in the coming years, and India's plans for another major transshipment hub at Galathea Bay in Great Nicobar Island, part of a larger strategic development project, India is filling the gaps which should have done long ago. But how do Vizhinjam and the Great Nicobar project could give India not just economic, but strategic advantages? Before answering that, let's ask a bigger question. What actually gives a country geopolitical leverage? Is it a large army, a powerful navy, or advanced technology. All of these matter, but often, the real leverage comes from control over critical systems. For example, China controls around 60% of global rare earth production and more than 90% processing, materials that power everything from electronics to defense systems. China have time and again shocked the entire world by demonstrating that it could restrict these powerful magnets' exports if it had to. Look at Iran, how Iran is holding itself in this ongoing conflict. Because of its ability to influence one of the world's most critical choke points, the Strait of Hormuz. So what's the common thread? Control, either over resources or over routes. And this is where ports like Vizhinjam and Great Nicobar come in. A deep-water transshipment hub located close to major global shipping lanes gives India the ability to: first, reduce dependence on foreign ports like Colombo and Singapore, cutting down significant economic losses. Second, strengthen India's position in global trade flows, especially with future initiatives like the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC. Third, increase its strategic presence in the Indian Ocean. And, at the same time, the development of Great Nicobar, located near the Strait of Malacca, gives India a stronger foothold close to one of the busiest maritime choke points in the world, a critical lifeline for countries like China. These projects are not just about trade. They are about positioning India within the flow of global commerce and power. So the real question is, will a stronger India help rebalance the power equation in the Indo-Pacific region? And what role do you see these strategic ports play in shaping that future? If you like the video, you can like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.